Alright, we're gonna have to do these ones in post because I got battered, absolutely beaten in about 3 matches back to back. But yeah, I couldn't figure out how else to put these together aside from just to do them in post because it was just too much swearing, way too much swearing. So we're just gonna re-record these and. Yeah, this was the first match. All of these are plus 10 units. It is simply insane how bulky these 3 matches were, and this was the start of it. This is max invest Rhea, at least for defense, I think, for Ather raids, and we got Marnie here. No other options, really. I didn't have... Look at this plus 10 Athos, man. He's such a Chad. The Lagoon's Friend 4, I think, is fantastic on him with his 76 res, which could even go higher if to drop the time pulse, because honestly, he doesn't need it. But yeah, I didn't have any other options, man. Like, I was looking at probably trying to Gale Force this, but we'd have to attack into Marnie, and that doesn't sound like a good idea with Tana, who would have to be the one to warp up there. She would die, like right away. She would die to this Marnie. So, no dice there. And also Freyr means that, you know, none of my undefended stuff with Layla would work. I guess we could target Athos, but I'm pretty sure the trap under him is probably... Well, even if it's real or even if the trap under him is fake, he's not dying to Tana. So, it's not going to work. And then also, if the other one, you know, Freyr's over there, plus Micaiah as well. So, setup here was to just try to tank it, which, you know, probably would have worked. But I ended up making a crucial mistake here on the second turn, and you'll see what I mean when we get there in a little bit. But the setup here was indeed to try to tank it and you know, figure out the rest of it from, you know, from the based off what was left. I had, you know, not a ton of hope that we'd be able to get through a plus 10 Rhea, but I was hoping that Xander could do something, maybe even bonus Dimitri. But
on my way.
Yeah, Dimitri was doing, you know, some damage. And also surviving, which is probably the most important thing. He was actually surviving. Probably should, you know, point out the bonus stats. That really was probably the main cause of that. As well as, you know, just the support here from the team, I guess. Here's the first match with Vale. So Vale is definitely going to be in the Astra season. I wasn't worried too much about this Kato in terms of him taking out Neathauger. Neathauger has enough bulk and support here to survive. Plus 37 res, so he's out-resing Vale, I think. But yeah, Lagoon's Friend for Athos takes 0 damage, as you can see. Really his best build, and I guess if you have the fodder, why not go ahead and do it? But yeah, 0 damage from Neathauger there. And this was, wow, no damage to the Marnie. 0 damage whatsoever to the near save Marnie. Oh, I was saying that Dimitri was attacking into Marnie. No, into Rhea. No, he was not. He was attacking into Marnie because Marnie was the near save. Rhea was the far save here. Didn't have any range units that could actually take her on. I don't have, like, I'm like thinking about it, like in my barracks overall. I probably should. Nah, Yunaka's for light season. I need someone for. Oh, Shez, right. But there's no way to fit Shez on this team unless I were to drop Saline. I don't like that idea. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like that idea. And then Shez would also have suffered because of the penalties. I'd have to waste a dance to try to get her to do any damage. So just bonus units actually, you know, affected the selection of this team here. Maybe if I could drop Xander, maybe if I drop Xander for, but then who would be the one to sit in front, you know? A lot of things to think of. Maybe I could put Neathauger in front. Maybe that would have been a better play. So I was inflicting the panic smoke here because what I'm going to do is attack with Dimitri and try to put down the haste terrain and then see if Xander can do something to Marnie afterwards. But Spoilers, nothing happens. We just end up in a steering contest, and that's probably the main reason that I ended up throwing this match, because I had some positional issues, as you will see. And also, I kind of forgot that this Aether, old man grandpa here had Linring. I completely forgot that he had that, and I ended up making a really bad mistake. So yeah, this was the plan. Here we go with Dimitri, and we're gonna see the damage forecast, which is looking like nothing. But that's before the terrain, was down. That's also going to happen. I'm pretty sure Nana. I wonder if Nana is going to be able to walk through this Marnie. When she gets to refine Legendary Nana, that will be interesting. If she can, if Nana is still getting walled out by Marnie, it's kind of crazy. Marnie, this unit came out when Panette. This Marnie came out before CYL. Was it around the same time? I think it was around the same time as the CYL banner. Yes? No? Maybe so? A little bit before. I don't know. And this is Valentine's Dimitri, who's the bonus unit. And he's the newest red cav sword on the block, and he still can't kill her. So that's kind of crazy. That is insane. Support is probably something to point out here, but still, the fact that he can't get through here is insane, man. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what type of play to do. The problem is 1, 2, 3. So the problem here was that Dimitri was in range of Freyr. So I was thinking I have to pull him back, but then if I pull him back, I didn't want to put him all the way back there, behind Neathauger. Which is essentially what I ended up doing anyway, because I'm dumb. But yeah, I didn't want anyone to get sniped, so I ended up moving Neathauger, and that ended up being the wrong decision. I should have. I go in again for another attack here with Dimitri, which is also another bad mistake that I made. Again, when you're reading the skills, you know that something is going wrong. Honestly, I was really just surprised at how tanky the defense was in terms of the 2 saves here, especially without there are stats being there's at least +10 to defense and res. That's a drive from what's his face, Old Man and Rhea. There's at least +10 stats there. And then, the flat damage reduction is already gone from Neathauger. Not from Neathauger, from Ather. Yeah, that flat 10 is already gone. So the majority of it is just Marnie being Marnie plus reopening. And then 81 defense is actually quite a bit. It's really a lot. Man, we're finally able to start doing some damage, but it's no longer optimal. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have attacked here, because really what's going to happen is that she's just going to heal it back, because there's healing. There's a healing tower right there. She's within 2 spaces of Faithrune, so she's going to get the Divine Nectar again. I could have risked Dimitri versus Freyr, which is ultimately why I kind of lost here. I didn't want to gamble that matchup, which I probably should have. Marnie healing off the combat with Xander there, which is really unfortunate. Nothing happening. Something was happening before, but I don't know what changed. We're not doing any damage now.
Coming right up.
But yeah, this was really tough, man. I probably could. No, I couldn't have used the Sita team, because Sita doesn't do any damage to Marnie typically. Yeah, it's not great, that matchup. Even though she has the armor effectiveness, it really doesn't amount to much against Marnie sometimes. And then Edelgard would have been the next option. I didn't like my chances there, since there's no far save on that team. We'd have to go all in on one of the first turn, basically. There's no hit and run for that team, so it probably would not have worked. Unless I was able to do something crazy with Tana, but my brain wasn't about to try to figure that out. So
On my honor.
We do this, which was, in hindsight, the worst decision that I could have made. Here we go. Does Freya attack? Oh no, we just go straight into Athos, and he blows up Dimitri, which of course he does. that's what he should do. And that is a loss right there. So, can't really blame anyone there aside from me playing badly. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the bonus units just aren't the greatest for this season. I don't know, man. I feel like Dimitri is good. It's just supporting him with the right team, I guess. Who would I drop? Like, honestly, who would I drop there off of this team? I feel like Xander's role is basically to take care of any Sigurds, but I guess if Vale, or since Vale is here, I can probably just drop him and run Nithauger, but then I lose the +5 movement, or the +4 movement that Xander provides, so I don't know. I feel like that's what I might do, though. I might just turn Nithauger into a frontliner, and then bring someone so that I can move her around the map.
Let's make merry.
That feels like a better option. Because Xander wasn't able to. There's too much bulk here, and ultimately, that was where we called it, man. GG's on the first map here, and here's the second one. We were taking on another opponent here with a pretty tanky defense as well. Now, the big problem here for this one was actually Layla. I could have, try to break through the defense here just by attacking over and over again with Xander, or just trying to stall it out. But Layla here on defense with she's basically acting as what's the word I'm looking for? She's basically acting as Embla on this particular defense. But what makes her even better is the flash effects. Without the flash, I probably would have been able to do a little bit more here. But you'll see you'll see what happened as we go through this. But yeah, Layla was really the one that led to us losing this particular match. Also learned something about Vale here. You'll see, well, I guess I can say it now. She failed to take out this for Mortis, the shield fighter for Mortis. And I guess the same can be said for any unit that has Hardy Bearing, or anyone. Basically, if she's failing to kill in 2 hits, she's pretty much dead, because she doesn't have enough damage reduction to survive a counterattack, typically, because her defenses are so low. Not quite sure how to rectify it. Probably going to look into something, how to get desperation on her, or probably some type of sweep effect. But then it can't be wind sweep, because her B skill is where she gets a lot of her offensive power from. So I don't know what to do. Partner her with someone that has flash might be an option, because Vale does not want to get hit. But then also she is chip damaging herself down, so it would be good if she had some type of desperation seal. I feel like that would be a good part peering for her, but wow, how do you fit that in,
On my way.
But anyways, that's just something that I noticed while trying to use Vale here. I think she hits very hard. She hits, she does damage significant. The problem is she just does not want to get hit in retaliation, because she's not going to survive. Xander, again, failing to do it. Well, again, I can't even call this a failure. This is a +10 Gilliam. Very invested. Great support around him as well. So I can't even really count that as a failure on Xander's end. He did a ton of damage there. And if we had the ability to attack another time or going again, he probably would have gotten the kill. 71 HP is a lot to clear, especially when the opponent is getting flat DR from Divine Nectar, as well as, all of the support stuff that's going on here. So can't really blame Xander too much for that. Not really his fault. I'm pretty sure Dimitri would have done worse, if not the same. So potentially attacking with Dimitri probably would have been the right choice, because then he would have cleared the the flat damage reduction from Divine Nectar, and then Xander could have went in and done his thing. But it was difficult to position both of them in the right spot. That would have allowed that without some type of movement, wasting my dance and stuff like that. So not the easiest. Probably would have needed a swap or something. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't work out. But we ended up doing the thing that I been kind of wanting to do, which was tank Sigurd with Xander, and it works out in my favor. Now, what I learned from that is that it works also in Ether raids, but then there's so much additional stuff that you have to deal with. So just being able to tank Sigurd isn't really enough, especially when Layla's there and you're getting hit with Flash. Xander can't really run no counter disrupt Echo, so I kind of still need a green unit to fill that role, which is the whole point of running Xander. I guess I can use him in SD, but for Ether raids, I'm probably going to need a green infantry unit to fill that particular gap, or maybe a red one. Who knows what it ends up being, but let's see what they put out on the next banner. New Heroes banner. Hopefully there's some type of good infantry unit there that I can put Null C Echo on and have it work out. Yeah, that's really what I'm missing here. Sita, I could have used the Sita team here. To be honest, I could have used it, but that team does not have any way to counter or any way for Neathhogger to survive the AoE. So Sigurd would have came in and attacked Sita, and then everyone else around him, which I'm pretty sure it's happened before, everyone else around Sita would have taken the AoE hit, including Neathhogger, which would have meant that Neathhogger would be down to 1, and Layla is going to be able to do 1 damage, especially with the lethality. So that would have more than likely ended up in a loss anyways. So it's really this is really just a good combination of units, because there's enough debuffs here for the undefended to go off consistently, and then if you take out one of the saves, then Lynn can come in and do her thing on the following turn. So it's very very well thought out, and it's not just like a ball of bulk. It's there's some considerable thought and effort put into this defense. I could have, if I had played better, probably gotten through this one, but it would have been a ton of work, and I'd have to play it pretty much perfectly. And then I'd have to find a way to kill Layla. It was very interesting that she did not leave herself exposed, which is what Robin did. Brave Robin, she left herself exposed, and I was able to snipe her, but Layla pretty much stayed where she was, which was her saving grace. You didn't move. Sigurd, 0 damage. I love seeing that so much. It means that I'm pretty much done with Sigurd now. I don't have to worry about it at all. It's everything else now. It's everything else now that we have to deal with. Oh, it's erosion. You know what this is reminding me of? It's reminding me that it's erosion season for the next SDS, and that means you won't really be. I don't know. Your save units probably won't be as beneficial. I don't know if I'm even going to consider bringing a far save. I guess because automatically everyone's just going to make their captain a ranged unit, and if everyone's captain is a ranged unit and they're benefiting from the erosion skill, then there's no point in bringing a far save, because erosion means that you can pick off whoever you want to pick off. So you're better off just bringing another melee unit, or just someone else that has distant counter, or someone else that offers support. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to consider. It's also a big open map. I don't know if that's actually going to be the map. I was watching Mask. Watching Mask, his stream, and he was just going over what it's potentially going to be, and I was like, yes, good old erosion season. Yes, that brings back memories of Erosion Yuri. Good old days when Hector was Brave Hector was still a thing. But yeah, this was where we ended up after the first turn.
Understood.
And I do end up sniping Robin here with Saline, luckily. But then Then we end up losing Xander. Like, I didn't expect Xander to die.
Your
And no,
turn.
he doesn't die to Sigurd. You'll see what happens. Also, he survived against Lynn, but a lot of that is probably down to Vale and
On
her
my
scowl on both the first hit and the follow-up hit, which was tremendous. Even though Lynn has the potent follow-up, is it the potent follow-up? I think it is. Xander was still able to survive. I didn't realize that, well, that's not even, it doesn't even matter.
Understood.
Units outside of
Round
Lynn
strike.
and Uller, there aren't that many range units that use the potent follow-up particularly well. Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. Lynn does a good job of it. But she still got outsped by Xander, which is what I
Understood.
probably wanted to mention. Xander was winning the speed check, which is why she didn't hit 3 times in a row, because if she did hit 3 times in a row, Xander would probably have died. Maybe. But it's good to know that Xander is as fast as he is, even
Close
when
your eyes.
his XL portion of his
Getting
weapon
warmer.
isn't taken into effect. He's still very, very fast, and I like that about him. Now, if only I had an infantry unit that could replicate that. That's again, I still need that.
On my honor.
I could probably build one,
Understood.
but
Let's make merry.
it's a lot of investment. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to.
I am ready.
Yeah. Maybe I could build a range unit. But they
I'll
would
do
need
it.
no follow-up because they would need to double Sigurd on top of the bulk that they would also need. So not a lot of green range units kind of fit that mold. I guess you could say
Of
Gatekeeper, but who's really using like, honestly, I think it's time to bench Gatekeeper, even though he still has a niche. Might not be enough to bring him into the future. He doesn't do enough damage, you know. I could swap out his B skill, but then his whole thing is his B skill, so what is his role really? Here's Lynn not winning the speed check. Double skull from Vale. Again, Vale is really fantastic. I've from the few matches that I've played with her so far, I've really enjoyed it. This was why I was saying that I think I should give Vale Desperation, because if you're gonna match her up into someone that's running Sigurd, then it makes sense to give her Desperation, because if you're eating some damage, she's gonna end up below 75% at some point. This was unfortunate. I was like, this doesn't kill. And it does. What was that, like 53? Somewhere around there. Maybe it was 63. I don't remember, but there we go. Xander died. It was really the special. And it was bizarre because the special proc went off, even though I have Vale there to provide the support scowl. So it probably, I don't know, man, because her special wasn't pre-charged.
On my way.
Oh, preempt pulse. That's what it was. So yeah, the preempt pulse canceled out the scowl from Vale, and then Layla has another special jump in her weapon, or was it her B skill? I forget which one it was, but here's the last one, or at least for today. Another bulky defense. Great trap placement. Hardy Bearing Storm, not really necessary, but I guess it works. Yeah, Fjord, Rhea, again. I feel like I've lost all faith in the Edelgard Tana team, just because of how difficult it has been so far in just getting her to break through Rhea. Granted, there are builds that you could probably run, or team compositions that you could probably run to have Rhea, Edelgard do better against Rhea. You can run with Marissa, as I've been advised, but I don't want to break the team up just to do that. And then, I don't know, man. Ultimately, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use her on offense. I'm probably going to keep her on defense for a while. Valentine's Edelgard. So I'm not thinking about it too much, because I don't have a replacement for her on my defense. Since I've replaced Sigurd with her. So if I'm taking her out, Valentine's Edelgard, then I have to have someone who can actually replicate what she does to a great extent, even better, do her job even better, and that unit hasn't been placed in the game yet. So Edelgard is probably going to be on she's only on offense because it's her bonus season. Once her bonus season is over, I'm probably going to find someone else to fit into that slot. Yeah, that's probably how that's going to go. Probably someone to help out with stats, like drive stats. Like, I feel like that's what's missing from that Gale Force team, like just survivability and offensive killing power. I feel like that's what's missing. So I'll figure it out. Maybe Marissa on that team is probably going to be the play, but then also it depends on who's bonus. So not that great in terms of options, because Thor and Plumeria have to be on that team, and then who is the bonus mythic, which then leaves me with 3 slots. So it's how do I fill those 3 slots is the question. So yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like my teams like really need some changing, or I need to just fix that Xander team. Of course, it's probably going to be changed because it's only here for fire season, and I just wanted to test out Xander, so he's probably going to go. I don't know what to do with that team yet, and I think that's the one that's going to have the most change to it. Astra season is a lot bulkier than I anticipated. It's with Athos's introduction, it's been really difficult to break through defenses. So I don't know, field effects might be but then Freyer, so that's inconsistent. I don't know. But yeah, the problem with this here defense, or just trying to tank this, is that Sigurd, again, Sigurd. I couldn't use the other team, the Xander team. Maybe I could have. Why didn't I use the Xander team? Yeah, I probably should have used the Xander team here, because there's no flash. Why did I bring... I knew that Sita would win the matchup against Sigurd there, because she just wins that, but the problem here is that the AoE hit, and as you can see, Neathhager is down to... Okay, so yeah, this is definitely me making the wrong decision. I should have bought the Sigurd team here, because I wouldn't have taken the AoE damage, or that much AoE damage on Neathhager, and then the reason why we lose here is
Understood.
Bridget. Bridget is able to do 1 damage. We can't heal because Ather and Becky, of course, she's there. Yeah, it probably would have been better to bring the Xander team here. I was probably just not confident in them after the first 2 mishaps. So I just wanted to use something else, but this was probably the right match to bring the Xander team. Hindsight, looking back at it. Also, I thought I could run away here, but Bridget also offers some warping support, so we get, warp sniped and lose. That's pretty much what happened here. Yes, the old warpies. I don't mind that we're kind of... I feel like we're, like, even though Barricade has become so available, I feel like warping is still going to be a big part of the meta. I was initially worried when I started to see so much Barricade at the start of the at the start of the year, when New Year's Neathhager had the Barricade in her save skill. I was worried that we were just done with warping altogether, but we're getting more pass units with pass, and just pass is still a skill that you can equip. And then not even that, movement. There's so many ways. There are so many ways to just chase down your opponent that even if you can't warp to them and get to the space that they're in, you can still like swap with Faith and support and then get an extra action. There's dancers that now have extra actions. Speaking of Plumeria, so yeah, there's still ways to just get to your opponent and prevent them from taking you out. Essentially, I moved, which I guess in hindsight was also another mistake. I moved Ratatoskr out of the way because she's been utterly useless thus far. She's done nothing but, be a hindrance to the team. Again, melee beast calves, another one, just another one that just didn't have a purpose. So yeah, the space there is the one that Athos warps into, and we go boom. This is not enough to survive. If we were at full HP, we probably could have survived this, but AoE from Sigurd, Fatal Smoke, well, not even Fatal Smoke, no Miracle, no healing, yeah, and then this, Sita does not survive this, FYI. If you didn't know, Sita does not live Bridget.
Forgive me.
It's, that's always a win for Bridget there. Yeah. And that was enough to close it out. She's basically taken out the frontliners of my team here. Even if I wanted to continue, it would just not be possible. But yeah, man, those were the 3 losses for today. GG's.